Hello, and welcome to today's LLumin CMMS Plus webinar, where we will be discussing how to harmonize the efforts of MRO and finance departments. My name is Caleb, and I'm very excited to talk with you all today about some insights we have gathered over the years of integrating our CMMS Plus system to ERP systems. Today, we'll be going through the following topics. First, I'll take a minute or two to introduce LLumin. Then we will go into the importance of integrating maintenance, repair operations, and finance, the benefits of a unified approach, and the case studies of a successful integration. After this, we will review cost control through preventative maintenance and provide some examples of cost savings. And finally, we will discuss strategies for enhancing asset lifespan and the financial implications of effective asset management. So a little bit about us. LLumin develops the CMMS Plus application suite. CMMS is quite frankly an older term, but is still the industry standard abbreviation that stands for Computerized Maintenance Management System. In essence, CMMS Plus helps with full cycle asset management across your enterprise, which predicts breakdowns so that maintenance can be completed quickly, reducing downtime events. We now have over 1 million assets managed worldwide, over 40,000 users, and a customer retention and growth rate that we are very proud of. LLumin CMMS Plus is trusted by industry leaders in manufacturing, construction, and also municipalities, utilities, facility management, and universities to manage and maintain their most critical assets. We pride ourselves in creating the most usable CMMS solution in the marketplace. One way we have accomplished this is by creating configurable dashboards so that upon logging into LLumin, users can access all of the data points, reports, and tasks needed to complete their job, whether they are a plant manager, maintenance technician, or other team members who simply need to access valuable asset information. We provide multiple ways to visualize assets across the enterprise, such as our integrated map view, and as shown here, our facility view. This gives plant and maintenance managers a real-time visualization of their assets and equipment in various statuses: running, degraded, down in planned maintenance, or down due to a break. CMMS Plus also has a robust inventory system to manage spare parts and other materials related to MRO. With CMMS Plus, users are able to set minimum stocking levels to automate purchasing of critical spare parts, transfer spare parts easily from one stockroom or location to another, and of course, issue out spare parts to PMs or work orders. Next, we'll go through the nuts and bolts of an ERP and MRO system integration and how this unified approach provides both the finance and maintenance teams what they require. There are 3 main integration points that any CMMS solution should have. First, vendor records coming over from the ERP. This keeps the ERP system as the master record for all vendors. Second, approved POs synced with the purchasing module in the ERP. And thirdly, the fully received receipts also syncing up with the ERP. This way, the finance team has everything needed to do their 3-way invoice matchup. Now let's take a look at these 3 integration points and what they really mean to you. With exported vendor records, maintenance teams are only working with finance-approved vendors. This means no duplicate vendor lists, and vendor onboarding is still managed by finance team. There is also a hierarchy of preferred vendors established for each individual part number. And maintenance teams do not need access to the ERP to create requisitions or POs. PO integration. For PO integration, there's an auto reordering of critical spare parts. So when parts reach a minimum stocking level, these items and quantities are placed on a reorder list to auto-generate purchase requests. There's also elimination of data entry for the finance team for maintenance POs. And maintenance teams can create POs or purchase requisitions in CMMS Plus, which of course go through the proper approvals before landing in the ERP as an approved PO. The beauty of this is, since POs are synced up and go through the appropriate approval process, the finance team will not have to enter in POs manually into the ERP system. Now for the receipt integration, maintenance teams can complete receiving in LLumin. Parts are then ready to be issued out to PMs or repair work orders, and the AP team has the PO, receipt, and invoice needed to complete their three-way match in the ERP. This means that the AP team's life does not change, so they won't be chasing receipts down from the maintenance team. Here we have a use case from one of our customers, Tenkate, a leading textile manufacturer. They say, by connecting LLumin directly to our ERP system, the purchasing and receiving functions are now integrated with the material management functions within LLumin. This creates streamlined workflows that ensure all the parts the maintenance team requires are on hand when needed and ensures the AP team has the data needed to reconcile and pay invoices. Now that we have shared the nuts and bolts of an integration, let's dive deeper into how implementing preventative maintenance helps control costs at your organization. As with all business units, maintenance best practices have evolved through the years with technology and idea sharing. There are 3 levels of maintenance, as we can see here. One thing to keep in mind is that the stair step is not always linear. Unfortunately, reactive maintenance still and probably always will exist. No matter the level of granularity one incorporates into their maintenance programs, some reactive maintenance or break fix will occur. Since we know that reactive maintenance results in the highest repair costs and most time-consuming production delays, the goal with reactive maintenance is to 1, limit the amount of reactive maintenance that takes place, and 2, when a piece of equipment does break, make sure that the equipment gets fixed as soon as possible, or as we call it, speed to uptime. You can optimize speed to uptime by monitoring the status of equipment, getting notified the moment the equipment goes into a down status, automating work order generation, having all parts on hand to execute a repair work order, and routing the appropriate technician to complete the repair as fast as possible. Next, let's talk about preventative maintenance. Preventative maintenance typically occurs based off of calendar periodicity and can reduce the amount of breakdowns that occur and help your organization avoid the high repair costs associated with reactive maintenance. Lastly, predictive maintenance, or as I like to call it, the holy grail of maintenance, helps extend lifespan of critical assets. Predictive maintenance measures have to incorporate real-time integration to the machine and assets that are being monitored, whether they are machines in a plant providing temperature, vibration, pressure, and runtime hours, or fleet assets providing mileage and fault codes to the CMMS for PM and work order generation. The goal of predictive maintenance is to avoid excessive maintenance and thus costs that can occur under a preventative maintenance model, which, as we've talked about, are typically calendar-based. Here is a readout of how LLumin CMMS Plus integrates into machine data sources so that we can utilize the real-time tag values to facilitate data analysis and predictive maintenance measures. As you can see, we can monitor multiple different machine data sources, whether it be SCADA, DCS, OPC, PLC, or IoT sensors. And we can utilize this data through the machine interface service to trigger asset utilization PMs and trigger proactive work orders based on the conditions that we are receiving from the machine data sources. Here's another use case from Mataura Valley Milk, a New Zealand-based dairy manufacturer. Mataura says, LLumin helps reduce operations, interruptions, and machine downtime, which has in turn reduced our overall MRO costs. LLumin's accessible HMI integration expedites repairs with easy to submit work requests and maintenance tracking. And LLumin's integration to the machine control system enables proactive, condition-based maintenance triggers. And last but not least, we will discuss how implementing asset management principles can help extend the life of assets, reduce maintenance costs, and streamline the MRO department. So, what are some elements of a strategic asset management strategy? First, it is important to assemble the right team. Typically, this is headed up by the maintenance team with managerial oversight. And after that, we define our success metrics. Some success metrics to consider are mean time between failure, mean time to repair, mean time to failure, return on assets, annualized failure rate, overall equipment effectiveness, and inventory turnover ratio. Next, it is crucial to have an inventory of all assets placed in a logical hierarchy. For example, site, division, work cell, and so on. After the asset structure is defined, maintenance measures are planned. A question to ask is whether maintenance should occur on a calendar basis, based on runtime hours, based on other machine conditions, or a combination of the three. Also, it is important to document the maintenance standard operating procedures so that technicians can complete maintenance tasks with ease and have the correct spare parts on hand. Next comes the most crucial part of an asset management plan, the implementation and execution. Of course, after the plan is implemented, it is important to gather feedback and continuously modify and improve your program. After initiating an asset management plan, real-time costs of asset ownership can be implemented. In LLumin CMMS Plus, you're able to track all of the costs on each asset, whether it is parts cost, labor cost, planned, or unplanned work. And as I mentioned previously, having a robust materials management program is key to facilitating effective asset lifecycle management. By being able to view inventory across stockrooms and locations, parts can be transferred to the site that needs it most for repairs without having to issue out a PO and have excess inventory across the organization with any single item. Speaking of materials management, we have another use case of cost savings due to having their MRO materials managed within LLumin. This is from Sunny Delight, one of LLumin's customers, and they say, "We were trying to limit the number of parts in the storeroom while having just the right parts when we needed them. In the past, a manager would only be aware of the parts in a local storeroom at the plant. With LLumin, now we can see across the company," says Verrett. "If another facility has a needed part in its storeroom, that part can be transferred. That saves the cost of buying an additional spare part that the company already owns." That wraps up our presentation. I hope that you learned a bit about integrating your ERP with a CMMS system, how predictive maintenance can help control costs, and the financial benefit of a robust asset lifecycle management. If you have any questions or would like to learn more about LLumin, please do not hesitate to contact us or contact your ERP partner. Thank you.